Nathan, you launched the new company membership of Propertymark at the conference. So I was really interested to hear from you a bit more about that, a bit of background, what your thinking was, what the plans are.
Absolutely, Phil. So I think it's obviously known that as an organisation we have individual members, all of which are aspiring to raise standards.
Yeah. And your members, the membership numbers are higher than ever now.
They are. So we're actually at our highest level ever, which is fantastic. And we're continuing to see growth and interest in that. And I think that's great because it's showing that people want to raise standards. They want to get to that higher level and they want to, be accountable for what they do.
Which is great. So why change it?
Well, this is actually going the next stage. So individuals is an area we want to continue to build and develop. Okay. But there's also an understanding that companies themselves do need support. And very often our relationship with the company is through the main business owners, the principals, partners, and directors. And whilst they have their own individual needs from an education and qualification point of view, they are still running businesses. The business is an entity in its own right. And very often businesses need support in order to be able to support their individual members as well.
Yeah, in today's climate, running a business is hard. It's very time consuming. It's highly pressured. And they've got a lot going on.
They have indeed, and I think there's three areas that we're very mindful of. We get a lot of feedback from members, and one of those has very often been about how can Propertymark support them and how can Propertymark help them to run their business. And so we're looking at three main areas really. Firstly, freeing up time for business owners to be able to spend more time actually working on their business and delivering. It's supporting them to be in a position where they can actually make more money. So we've got various tools that we're introducing to help them on the financial delivery.
Okay.
And the third part of that is also the ability to save money as well, and using Propertymark's bulk buying power to help those small to medium-sized agents.
Talk me through that bit.
So if you're a larger agent or a corporate agent, what you have is quite large volumes. So when you're talking to suppliers, which might be CRM systems, it might be web suppliers, it might be marketing services, because you're looking to buy a greater volume, you naturally get discounts.
Sure.
The small and medium-sized agents can't benefit from that at this moment in time. And so there becomes a disparity. You've got the larger machines that are generating more money, paying less money, and the smaller machines that generate less money, paying more money. Yeah. And what we're looking to try and do is just to help everybody in that environment and actually utilising our buying power and being able to pass that down to our members is, for me, something which is fundamentally important, really.
So you're talking about saving people time, saving them money and making them money.
Correct.
Making the money through referrals and things like that.
Yeah, so we've done a number of things to help business owners generate additional revenue. So one of those, and probably our most cherished opportunities, is a new referral platform that we are launching called Propertymark Connect. And this is to enable Propertymark members to actually refer backwards and forwards. And the referral platform idea is not new, quite the opposite. Where the difference actually is in this is because of the numbers of members we've got and the coverage that we have. We cover 98% of the UK, and there are no other networks out there actually able to do that. So what it does mean is not only do we have coverage from professional qualified members in every area, we also have the ability for the consumer to have choice. And I think that's very important. Most people will have one or two or three valuations. And so for a Propertymark member to actually be able to refer back to a local agent, for three agents to go out to do a viewing, to do a valuation, and then effectively it improves the chances of that referral being successful.
Yeah.
And what it does do, it enables both the receiving agent and the selling agent to actually be able to financially benefit from a shared transaction. And I think from our point of view, we want to be inclusive. So we are going to create the environment for other networks to send leads to our member agents if they so wish as well. So
that's very
it's all inclusive.
Is it a case of one size fits all in terms of the company membership?
Absolutely not. We know different companies have different requirements and different areas of support. So whilst we will have a core offering, we will have additional support services wrapped around those in order to cater for the individual needs that companies need.
Can you give me some examples of what and where you could help with?
Absolutely. So I think the first thing, let's talk about savings. So if you're a lettings company at the moment, for example, and you have client money protection, then one of the criteria of that is you have to produce an annual report from your accountant. Now, the cost of those will range, dependent on who you are and the accountants you've used, anywhere from £1,000 up to £3,000 or £4,000. A big part of the company membership is where we've been beefing up our compliance and regulation team and adding additional skills and training into there. And one of the first parts of the company membership is to actually enable us to take on that requirement away from the need to have the accountant's report separately. So for most people, straight away, there will be a multi-thousand-pound saving annually, and that's just on that one contingent.
Just so I've understood that correctly. So they'll carry on using their normal accountant to do their normal accounts, but actually in terms of this specific requirement, they could use Propertymark system because your compliance is bolstered up.
Correct. So we will do that. We've gone through all the checks and balances and challenges, and that's an immediate saving for members there. And actually, it's also probably more reactive because it's live time as well.
Yes.
So again, that's a very clear example. It's saving a lot of stress for members. It's saving a lot of hard work, and it's saving a lot of cost. And it enables us to free up a lot of time for businesses in order to be able to continue.
But aside from that, what about other areas that you can help with?
So we've been building a legal helpline, which has been a very big success, and we're continuing to drive into that and cover all of the devolved nations and all of the different disciplines. And probably...
Is that internal or external?
Internal, Phil.
That's a huge investment.
It's a big investment. And it's building every single month, and we're learning more and more, and we're building the learnings. But very often, one of the biggest areas that companies have said to us is, how can we let other members of staff use that, not just your individual members? So again, there's an understanding of how we can open that up to be more responsive, because when you're in the front line, you need an answer to a question. Sometimes you need it very quickly.
Yes.
Again, it's providing support services to the business owners. So tax advice, making sure that they've got the right planning in place. It's making sure they've got the business support, HR, all of the things that are sat around running a business that stop you from doing the business. I mean, the suite of products we've built, I think, sits around about 25 to 30 different areas that we're covering from a business, through for recruitment, post-staffing, bringing people in, training, development, qualifications, anything and everything you can think of that sits around what you need for a business to function. They're the parts I want to build in, but more importantly, they're the parts that, using Propertymark's leveraging and Propertymark's buying power, we can deliver back to members at an absolute fraction of the cost. Because it's not about making money for us, it's about creating an environment where our members' businesses can be as profitable and successful as they can be, and that allows them to support their teams and our members, and allows everyone to grow.
You mentioned the word profit, and I know that people do ask you, is this all about shareholders and making money? So here's an opportunity to kind of riposte that.
Put the record straight. Well, okay, so we are a not-for-profit company. There are no shareholders. It's a member-owned organisation. So whilst my job obviously is to ensure that we as an organisation deliver for our members, the resources that we build are designed for members. Any surpluses that come out of the year go right back into the next year. And I think if you look at our trading history over the last few years, we've continued to grow, but all of that money is being reinvested, and the services that we're delivering back to members now are making a credible and real difference. And I think the other side of this, obviously, we've started that consumer engagement process to get people aware of what's a Propertymark member about.
How's that going?
Very well, thank you very much. And I think your support in that has been great. We are now getting consumers actively asking, are people Propertymark members?
Good.
And that's what we need, because there are differences, as we all know.
Well, that's why I got involved with you guys to start with, because I think it's super, super important what you do. One final question, if I may. As an individual Propertymark agent, do I need that membership anymore?
Well, absolutely you do. And I think the reason we've done this is to allow us, believe it or not, to focus on the individual members, because I think what we've been doing is developing things that have slopped into individual membership, which were benefiting the business and the business owner, not necessarily the individual. Our job is to look after that individual member. That is our core purpose, and that will never change. And if you look at individual members, they get the designatory letters after they've got to a certain standard. The world is changing all of the time now. The number of lettings legislation, changes in AML. We need to be able to give our members the tools that they need to operate professionally on the front line. And there's a big distinction as to what does the individual need to know and say versus what does the company need to do and provide. And what we're trying to do is enable all of that to come together in one package.
So you're splitting it out. So as an individual, you look after them. A corporate company membership, you look after them. Absolutely.
And I think the one thing to add on that is, we've focused on the individual member and the company bit, but, we've been able to hold our membership fees, for example, against inflation, against the interest rates. All of the work we've been doing has enabled us to look after the member at a time that they've needed it. Yeah. We very clearly hear from the business owners out there. We understand the challenges they've got, and we want to help them make their lives easier to help their employees.
I think what you're doing is ambitious, but I also think it's great. You've put a huge amount of effort and investment into sorting this out. What's good for the sector is good for the community, good for society. I love it. Good luck with it.
Thank you very much, Phil. And, we're very proud of what we've done. We've listened to our members. We understand the support they need. And if anybody's, wanting to know more about it, just get in touch and we'll explain how it can benefit them and support them in their task.
Good luck.
Thank you.